I feel shame because I feel like, okay, so I love my partner who is a lot older than me, and I feel like I'm judged. I love his heart. He's very humorous, and he is a very interesting person. But because we have societal expectation of how we should do certain things, so I couldn't love a partner who's a lot older than me, and the shame keep coming back to me. Like
it's interesting, isn't it? What is the age gap?
40 years old difference.
My husband's 20 years older than me. I get, right from the start, we had the pressure, and we had a few of his family, a lot of his friends saying, she's after your money. What is this about? Why would she be interested? And then I had my friends and my family, some of my family, saying, you'll end up caring for him. Don't do this to yourself. What do you think you're doing? So we had a lot of pressure, a lot of judgment, a lot of mean jokes about John being a playboy and things like that. This is 20 years ago. We've been together 20 years now. But yeah, that age gap was a big driving thing. If it was the other way around, you know what I mean? So it seems to be okay for the man to do it, but all the judgment's on us. It's not on the man. It's often on the women, and what are you doing and why are you doing it? And the pressure is there. So again, with my body confidence, with the way I decided to see myself, with my depression I had at the time, and with the judgments I had, I decided one day, I do apologise, but they could all get stuffed. And when I decided I'm going to hold my head up and I've got nothing to answer to, and silence is a beautiful way to respond to something. If something is asked of me that's rude, I'll just sit there and smile, and I let them fill in that awkward gap. And you teach people how to treat you, and they stopped asking those questions because I kept trying to
ask you questions.
They would ask me, and I tried to make it okay for them, but I kept fill in the gaps and give them answers. And I thought one day, I was around my weight and around our marriage, and one day I'm not going to answer those questions anymore. And it's funny how once you hold your head up and you can own it and you're just proud of who you are, it's funny how people start to treat you differently. It's really interesting, but that's silence.
It's a boundary.
So if they ask a really rude question, I'll just sit there and smile and stuff and say, oh, we're not going there and stuff. And eventually it's, oh, okay, she has some boundaries. And you can do it really sweetly, but I'm not answering that question. I don't even have to enter into it. You ask the rude question, I'll let you dig your way out of that one, and people move on. But took a while. Because I felt really awkward. Another one is, let's move on to something else.
Yeah.
So can I ask you something personal? That's always a good one too.
Because even before you came up, I was thinking, okay, if you see my partner, would you judge me?
And no, I wouldn't.
I feel like I have to constantly proving myself. I try to do business. I try to do lots of work. And the people ask me, why do I work so much? Because people, they think that you are being with an older partner. Why are you being with him? Are you after his money? No.
It's insulting.
No,
it's insulting. But see, stop answering that. Yeah, you don't need to say no. Did you mean to ask me? Did you ask that out loud? If people persist, and if they persist about my looks, about our marriage, which they don't so much anymore, if they persist with anything that's particularly rude and I don't want to go there, I will. And if they keep doing it, I'll just say, did you ask me that out loud? That's usually something you keep inside your head, but we can move on. So I make it okay, but stop.
I like that.
And I'm very good at putting on, and I stop smiling for a little bit because I've got a really good resting bitch face, and I can just bring it where it needs to be. Not everyone deserves my smile, and that's very rare now, but it took me starting to own it. And I had to stop apologising or explaining myself. There were the two things I had to learn to stop doing. I don't owe anybody an explanation. And if somebody asks me the question and stuff, and it's put in a rude way to sort of make me embarrassed or ask me what it is, or, gold digger was the one we got at the start. Even his daughter did ask at the time, Dad, couldn't you just live together for a while? I'm not sure that this is good for you. But we've been together 20 years. We have a really lovely thing going. Yes, he is ageing rapidly and stuff, but we're working around that. But it's no one's business unless, if they're happy for us, by all means, we can chat about anything. But don't pull us apart and try to figure out what's going on. John's got old friends that still come up to him and go, oh, you two still together? And I think it's so insulting. I think we've been together 20 years. Where are the cracks? But people are very strange. So sometimes they need to be taught. But I will give you this advice. Stop explaining to people and stop apologising. It's just, I am who I am. Why do you need to know? Or why I'm busy, it's just how I am. That's what I like to do and stuff. And what keeps you busy? So I'm very good at deflecting back. If somebody just says, why do you keep doing all the different things you're doing? Why don't you sit at home or watch Netflix? And I've got time to do Netflix too, but keeps me happy, keeps me busy. I've got this life force, I want to do something with it, and I don't have to explain it to anyone. I'm just going to go do these things. That's but you don't need to explain to anyone.
Definitely. And
just the only person you've got to explain to is yourself.
Definitely. As long as you are happy with your life. Because even if you try to go to love someone who is a similar age, but you are not happy, they don't care about whether you are happy.
No, they're just interested in sort of that gossipy stuff, and I find that really shallow. I've been married before, and I was married to a man that was very similar in age to me. It didn't work. It simply didn't work. We gave it a try. We had 2 kids together, and for whatever reason, in marriages things go wrong. It's never just one person. So in the end, I called it a day, and I'm very, very glad that I did. We're now very good friends, but we just weren't good at being married to each other. But nobody asked the questions. Nobody said, why are you with him? And
it's not like, okay, so people say, you are being with older men, so you're gold diggers. If you are similar age, you are okay to be a gold digger.
It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who it is.
I won't question you. Yeah, it's like, you are not a gold digger because you are similar age.
Yeah, so that's all we need to know. We don't need to know if they're a good heart. We don't need to know if you're compatible. Don't need to know if you feel comfortable at dinner time. No.
Definitely.
You're the same age, you're fine.
Definitely. And I have a guy who is a similar age as me, who was pursuing me, and he is wealthy. Why didn't I just go for it?
That's right. And look, that would be up to you. That would be your choice, but people wouldn't be asking that question, would they? So it's really odd. And that does not mean either that if you pursue that way that you would have had a happier life. You could have been bound in certain other ways that you don't know. We've got one chance at this life. You know what I mean? We make our choices and stuff. But with my self-esteem as a young woman that thought all my worth was in how I looked, I made some really poor choices, and they included men. And they change your life in ways you can't. You can only look back and think, oh my goodness, I could have avoided 10 years of heartache here. I could have avoided this. But you learn what you learn. But yeah, that was through making poor choices with being with the wrong people. They were age appropriate, but that did not make them the right choices to be with. So I'm listening to this more and more. I'm listening to this and realising I can do all this shit without somebody telling me what to do. I'm not asking people's permission. I'm just doing it. And now that I'm doing all my decisions without asking people, saying, do you reckon that's okay? Now that I'm doing it I'm just saying, I'm doing such and such. And people are like, oh, that's what Karen does. So now these days, and with a bit of age behind me, people are, oh, okay, that's what Karen does. She's a bit quirky and stuff, but she's living her life. That when I was younger, I felt I had to explain everything to everyone.